What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Scevoli Tano Tonight show, guys. I have a very special guest all the way, again, from England. I don't know if he lives near Salacious Rum. I don't know. They might be friends on the side, have weekend crumps together. I have no clue what they do. But Mr. Samuel Allen, the Grand Faker, is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, I'm in Northern Ireland, Chris. I'm in Northern Ireland, actually.
Ireland.
Ireland, yes.
Give me my lucky charms, then. Give me my lucky charms.
Well, that's the way it is. I'm next to the place where Ray found Luke, remember? That island, Skellig Michael. So, Actu, remember? So, that's where it is. Yeah, I'm actually based in County Down, Northern Ireland. So, I'm on the east coast of Ireland at the stage. So, yeah, it's me, Samuel Allen.
The Grand Faker.
The Grand Faker. I got that title after becoming part of the social group Faking Star Wars. They're a social group where anytime there's Star Wars news, they put their fake spin on it. They like recreate the news articles, but make like bringing up characters to replace the actual people. It's all on the site fakingstarwars.net. They do have a podcast called FSW Radio. So, but if you look up fakingstarwars.net, I'm the Facebook contributor. I run their Facebook page, Real Faking Star Wars, and the Faking Fandom. So I use the Faking Star Wars page to just share their .net content about the birthdays and anniversaries that I provide. I put it on the Faking Fandom. So those are on Facebook. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
no. What, Samuel? You are the Grand Faker. You are.
Well, we all had to have our own titles and all, but if you go on there, if any of them go on there, they'll see some of the other, like Storm Duper, Link Fox a Million, and Vegan the Hut. They're all. I kept thinking, oh gosh, I'm gonna be there's just so many people on there, but the podcast is very good. We are quite quiet at the moment because I think we're just waiting for the likes of Star Wars Acolyte and all to build up. I think I think that's where the main news will come in. So I just decided to join up for them, and they heard about my reputation wishing birthdays, so they just said you cover the Facebook sector of things. So I just thought, why not? Might as well do it. So
do it, yeah. So you said the Acolyte, Samuel. Are you excited for the Acolyte?
Absolutely. I'm glad that it's finally happening. I'm glad it's not like Rogue Squadron and all that are projects that are like on the shelf and then off the shelf. It's like, do I want to do? Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited finally that it's happening. The trailer, no cancellations, no one walking away, no. I'm just excited to see what the likes of May, Soul, and Trinity. I'm joking. Of Trinity. I think she's become what they call the Trinity with a lightsaber. That's what they're calling her now. So, but Indara, that's her name. It is getting me excited because the High Republic, I really came late into that sort of thing.
I'm not familiar with it a lot. Like, I'm not familiar with that. Like, I've read some of the books, but it's like there's so much. There's like comics, then you got side stories, side ones. You know, it's like so much books to read, so it's hard to keep up with the High Republic. But I know there's one High Republic because I've read the book with her in it. She has the whip, the purple whip, as the Jedi. Mm-hmm. That's all I know from her. But other than that, there's no other Jedis in the High Republic in the show that we know of.
I was kind of worried that it was going to use a little quiet time, and I thought there's going to be no action. There's just going to be training and lessons learned, and I thought, is this going to pop up sooner or later, or what's going on? Mainly because most of the books, I think more have died in the books than I thought. I felt like, so there's going to be nobody left for when these shows finally happen. It's like, who's going to be left to make live action? I was originally concerned when it first announced because the likes of Lin John Jay, I kept thinking if this is an English speaking role, I've heard that he's just recently took on English lessons, because I thought if they're going to hire the English speaking guy from Squid Game or something to to talk like him, it's like they'll be checking when his lips move and when they stop moving. It's like stop talking like that there. It's no disrespect to him, it's just every interview he speaks Korean, you see. So I kept thinking if he gets a line, people are going to miss, or they're going to pick up when he's speaking his own words and when he's getting a bit of help. But hey, they do what they have to do to break into these roles. So it's something that I'm just looking forward to it all. I've held back wishing any of them birthdays at the moment, because all we've got is the poster at the moment. I'm going to wait for the credits and all chapters all to come up. Do you think it'll come up in chapters?
I think they already said. I think there are coming chapters. I think it's like episode 1 through 8. There's only, so we get 2 chapters in.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we'll get 2 chapters June 4th. And I think that's a Friday, June 4th. And I think it will come out like 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then I think 9 o'clock, like where I am in East Coast time. I think that's what they're going to do. I would like that schedule too, like they did with Ahsoka. You know, they did that. I like what they did with that, because you're home Friday night, you're Ahsoka on your shirt, crosshair on mine.
That's right.
I would like to see that time, not like what they do with the Bad Batch, like 3 a.m. or Tales of the Empire. 3 a.m. Like that's a lot. Like you should just premiere it like when everybody's up, awake, ready to watch it, because everybody goes to sleep. Like, no, I'm a dedication fan, so I'll watch it at 3 a.m. Yeah, but I don't want to wake up. I want to be nice and cozy in my bed, you know. But,
I know. We all have like working lives as well as personal, and you can't if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning waiting for a show to start, and then it's you're like, right, I gotta go back to sleep now, and then
it's a lot.
And then you wake up the next morning and the social media is blown up, images shared of the episode, and like, what was this? What was that? I was actually shocked by the new trailer. I thought a smile on his face, because I thought I thought this must be some kind of I don't know, type of Sith where,
right? The Sith,
the smile on his face. I kept thinking, did Mark Hamill have something to do with that, or something? Smile on his face, kind of thing.
Now, did you? I don't know, in Ireland, did they have the Phantom Menace in Ireland? When they had the May the 4th, they put it in theaters. Was it in theaters in Ireland for you?
I actually I haven't gone to see it, and because I've watched it at home. But I've heard in the US they're talking about. Although in YouTube they keep sharing 30-40 second clips, parts of the trailer.
They show like
Who Trained You? They did one where they showed an episode, right? Okay.
Yeah, they showed like a piece of an episode, the fight scene with May at the Jedi, and then they cut to the trailer because she escapes, and then they cut to the trailer, a new trailer. Then that's where you saw the Sith with like the smile and stuff like that, which was really cool.
To tell you the truth, since I know how the Phantom Menace starts and ends, this whole getting extra content, I just wait for someone to upload it on the likes of social media. There's always a sneaky phone recording.
I
just
recorded
outside.
Did you? Recorded.
Oh, you recorded, right? Well, good job, good doing that there, because I remember the whole Skeleton Crew thing. People kept sharing clips of it and all, and I kept thinking, none of this is probably a fan-made trailer. It doesn't look real, because I know that there's. I just can't believe what's right and what's correct and all, and then find out it's months after the likes of Celebration, and thinking, was that in the clip that they saw, or was it something fan made? So it's it really is an interesting cast, because I've seen the likes of Charlie Bennett. I remember him from like the TV show Arrow. Like the Green Arrow, he played one of the he played John Diggle's son, I think it was. So and Jodie Turner-Smith. I'm actually curious whether she's a baddie or not in this one, even though she's the leader of a coven. Covens don't tend to have loyalties to. I think she I think maybe because they've all been talking about Andrea possibly being the baddie because she's like on the run, and it's like something tells me maybe Jodie Turner-Smith's character probably is a baddie role in it. I don't know. It's the people you least expect.
It is. It could not even be her. It could be someone else in the show.
I know. In a future episode, I might get to eat my words and say, "Sorry, the way you said she was bad, she made it to the end and she was good." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad." So that's. I would dare not wish for a birthday again if I got the wrong, but. It's really going to be an interesting show just to see what really happens. So what did you think of Tales of the Empire?
I loved it. And a lot of people didn't like it because I saw like people say bad things about it and stuff like that, and I'm like, but what did you really want with these episodes? Like Morgan Elsbeth, I really loved her 3 stories, but Beerus I really loved because Beerus to me wasn't like a mysterious character going into the Clone Wars. Oh, she was Luminara, Padawan. Then the bombing on the temple came, and I think Ahsoka said it best. It said it in her novel. I have the photo of it. I can't pull it up now. But Beerus should have never done what she's done. Absolutely, she killed thousands, she killed hundreds, whatever. But she should have did it a different way. Beerus, I think she should have told someone that she was feeling some type of way. I know that the Jedi are not about the feelings type people, but I feel like with Ahsoka was like that. She would feel for that. She would have feelings. But I like Beerus' story because she becomes the healer at the end of the episode, at the end of her arc. And there's books that I have right here. One book right here, and then the second book right here. They're Legends books, but she becomes a healer in those books, like the second book. And then you see her in the healing, and then you see that she's old, and people had a tough time, like, oh, has she aged? And then I found on TikTok a video, which I'll post later on my Instagram, that she's old because she's using her body to heal them, to heal people. Her Jedi powers. So she's draining herself for protecting other people. I think that's a great explanation, and I think that is true because we see the fourth sister, and that takes 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. We see her in Obi-Wan. So this has to roughly take place 10 years or 11 years because you see her in the armor with that. You see her in Obi-Wan. But yeah, I really like Beerus' story. I think she wasn't going to be an Inquisitor at all because they were too ruthless. And I don't think she's that kind of character that she's a ruthless person. No, I think she's just she was stuck in her ways, and she knew the Jedi. She knew the Jedi were corrupted and stuff like that. And she's correct. You know, they are. They don't see. They follow politics. They shouldn't be war generals. They should be keepers of the peace, and they're not. And then with Morgan Elsbeth's story, I love seeing that Rebels sequence because she was like about the TIE Fighter project that we see in Star Wars Rebels. So I like that little sequence that they brought back. I think like someone said like she doesn't have the markings on her face because she's like a Force sensitive Night Sister. And I can see that because not all Night Sisters had that the black makeup on and the white makeup and stuff like that. Like Azaj, you see Azaj with like that's her face, of course. She's pale, but you see her have the marks on her face, and she is Force sensitive. But with Morgan Elsbeth, we don't know if she was Force sensitive or not. But then we see in Ahsoka that they transformed her into the real Night Sister that she always wanted to become. And the vision, she always had a vision. So whatever that vision was, we don't know yet, and it involved Thrawn. It was great to see Grand Admiral Thrawn. Admiral Thrawn, not Grand Admiral. Yeah, he was Admiral Thrawn. And then we see the Grand Inquisitor again, which I'd love to see him. We need a story on him soon. I feel like we should get like Tales of the Empire again with his 3 episodes. Him from the Jedi and how the Jedi fell, and then his story to where he dies to Kanan in Star Wars Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
We see Vader for a quick second, and people were upset that Vader wasn't going to talk to Beerus. And I was like, why really would he? You know, I don't. Yeah, he's Anakin, but I don't think he's going to kill Beerus off. You know, I don't think he's going to do that. What else was in there? And then we see the Jedi she faced. What happened to that Jedi? Beerus faced the Jedi in that. What happened to him? And she says, go take him to a friend, an old friend. So we don't know who that old friend is. We don't know if it's Ahsoka. They rekindled. I'm hoping for more Beerus, actually. I'm really hoping for more Beerus. And even more Morgan Elsbeth, maybe in that time frame of the Clone Wars, after the Clone Wars, into Rebels, and then into Mandalorian. But I would like to see more of Beerus Offie's story. And I think we should get more, because she's an interesting character. And I don't think they would kill her like that. Really, they would kill her and that's it. No, there's something else for Beerus too. I think so. I hope that we don't wait like another 12 years to find out what happened. But I hope we see Beerus again. But Tales of the Empire, I really liked. I watched it again last night.
Oh, I know. I'm actually glad they told both their stories, because I kind of think Barris, after betrayal and all, she kind of got severely run out of town, if you know what I mean, kind of thing. Yeah. She was like she had to do something. I know it was a bit radical with the bombing of the temple and people getting killed and all that there. It was radical action that she took, because she just saw the way the Jedi was being used. And plus, I'm sure you've seen over the past seasons, a lot of Jedi died in a lot of episodes. There's almost every episode a Jedi Master never comes back. It's like she was like using this bombing as I said. Enough is something. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done to break this stalemate, because they were constantly burying their dead, and the Separatists were still around. So I kind of thought when she was led away, she had to come back in some way. So when I saw that scene of her looking out of her at the temple, I'm sure she knew what was coming to pass, and I thought, I was like watching it. You were right all along. You were right. You were right. Yeah.
But you know, it was weird to me that the clones, you know, and then said that you're glad you're not a Jedi, but I'm like, you should be killing her though. Like I didn't get like that kind of sense. I got it towards the end, but I was like, what is going? Why is the clones not shooting her? You know what I mean? And I understand she's not a Jedi, but
I guess the Cameronian technology has an off and on switch. It's kind of like a dog fetch and a stick fetch, and then stay. It's kind of like that's what I thought. I thought they would have been blasting the door to get her open, and then I thought, but I did see earlier short clips where it shows the Force sister visiting her. So apparently, they must have something in those organic chips that allows them to go.
Because it's hard. Because how are you not going to kill like the Grand Inquisitor, the Fourth Sister, Merrick? And we see Merrick in the show too, and the sixth brother that Ahsoka defeats.
That's right.
You know, we see that. I would like stories on them too. Like I would like stories on Jedi that we haven't seen. You know, like I would like that going into like Tales of the Jedi. I think the Tales of the Jedi we'll see like Baylan Skull maybe.
Yeah.
And someone else. I don't know who. But maybe Baylan Skull. That's a good one, because Tales of the Jedi are not out yet. It's supposed to be here this fall, I think it is. But yeah, I hope. I wish we got. I just wish more animation. I'm an animation kind of guy.
I'd like to give it a chance as well. I just thought her story needed to be told. The way she was transitioning from prisoner to Inquisitor to healer, and I thought she had to go down that path. She knew she had done wrong in the past, and this was just her way of like, I didn't sign up for this. Because when I saw the Inquisitor thing, I thought, this is not going to end well. And I'm talking about whoever she's teamed up with. And it was because I just thought she's probably going to realize I've signed up for the wrong, I've sold my soul to the wrong. It's even worse than what I thought was going to happen. With the Jedi gone, she's now, the Force sister kept telling her that it was all about law and order, and people will live at the Empire's reason and all, and it was kind of like the part where she said at the end, "You have one more Jedi left." I was like, "Go on," and then when she pushed her, I was like, "No, throw the saber at her or something."
I think at like 3 a.m. because I watched it at 3 a.m. when it premiered. And I was like, "One more Jedi left? What is she talking about? Like, who's the Jedi that's left?" And I didn't even slip my mind that it was her. You know? Mind. And then she pushed her off, and I was like, "Is she dead? I don't know if she's dead. Did she die?" And then we see in the last episode, of course, that she's not dead. And Beerus, like, I would like to see Beerus' story with her because she knows Lynn. You know, she knows Lynn from the Jedi Temple. Her real name is Lynn. So
she was calling her that. She was calling her that throughout the episode. Stop calling me that. And I'm like, she's going to eventually break through that resistance because because you remember in the likes of Jedi Survivor, remember what do you call her? I think it was the fifth sister. I think it was. She kept Cal Kestis kept calling her by
her name,
her real name. Yeah, by her real name, and then she eventually realized she was a Jedi before she was an Inquisitor, and they get through to them that sort of way. I'm actually glad as well that they told the story about Morgan because people were wondering how does a woman just suddenly appear a magistrate. She would have had to have some origin. That whole fight scene with Rook, I was on the edge of my seat for that one. I kept thinking, wow, I thought maybe this was going to be like a 10 second, 20 second, and then you passed. They really tested her. I knew it had to be somebody like Palinian and Thrawn that we're going to see. Let's see what this one's made of. Can she hold her own? And
to see Pelion, it was interesting to see him actually, because we haven't seen him really live action at all.
No, we did.
We did. I know we did.
Yeah,
we did, but. That because we didn't see him in animation, so it was weird because I was like, did we see Pelion? I said he's in the books, but did we see him? And then in the Mandalorian, I remember now he's he was talking to people about Stardust. No, not Stardust. What was it? In the Mandalorian.
It was Moff Gideon.
Yes, it was with Moff Gideon, and then
Long live the Empire thing, and Xander Berkeley came back. To tell you the truth, I think that Mandalorian Grogu thing is probably going to be based on hunting all them warlords down. Because remember, at the end of season 3, he says, "I'm looking for work here. I might be able to capture some warlords for you." I think it's going to be that we're going to see Berkeley and all running for their lives, discarding their uniforms and all, and whenever he walked up to the screen and looked at the TIE fighters, because Morgan Elsbeth, she's had to grow up in a galaxy where no matter how hard she tries to impress people, she's always let down. She saw the Mountain Clan. No matter what she did, the mother was like looking at her. I don't trust you. You're gonna be the downfall. And then her daughter gets killed, and it's like Elspeth brought death everywhere she goes. So. To put her in a magistrate position the way she was, and the way Palpatine recruited, and after the fight with Rook, I thought Thrawn's probably going to be around the corner. That whole monologue of the way she just stood silently. I like the part where he asked her, "You lied before. I want to know the truth." It's like he will look at your full potential, and if you lie to him. He'll not waste his time on you. It's to tell you the truth. If she hadn't have spoke the truth, he would probably killed her and replaced her with somebody else, or he would have just took over because he wants to make sure that his interests are covered. Sure, he even talked about how the Empire would have fallen under certain circumstances as soon as it started. It's like that's why he fled the way he did, because he realized what he had said years earlier had come to pass. The Empire was not his to run free on. He had to flee. It's like he's a survivor.
Yeah,
and I knew she was a survivor as well. So I like the part where she dinged the spear, and the locals all knew uh-oh, there's going to be no rebellion. It's like they're all looking at the are we going to rebel? And they're like, no, it's just one. And it's like,
and then we see like when the New Republic, we see the New Republic go there.
Yeah.
And, Bo-Katan is on the other line of that, you know, on that device. So
I had to watch that a couple of times. I thought maybe that was. I actually thought maybe that was. Who is it? Female. I actually didn't know it was Bo-Katan first. I looked up and saw there was credits, but I kept thinking I saw no face of her, no hologram, no blue helmet. So, and then I thought it has to be that audio recording because it sounded something like a woman, and I thought, and then it clicked. It clicked whenever Mando was sent by Bo to the planet that Ahsoka was on, and it's all coming together. Of course it is. She couldn't go, so she sent Mando in his place. So it's I know that I was actually shocked about that. You see a faction where Empire and Republic go at it. Republic wins, but there's still planets that don't buy to it. It's like Nadura showed up. I felt like, okay, Republic turning up. This is going to be a peaceful takeover. And I thought, wait a minute, if there's guards still around, and then when Morgan Espa said, I'm not giving up so easily, and I thought,
I think with like Morgan Elsbeth, she is to me, she's misunderstood too, Morgan Elsbeth, because she lost everything. So she's going to risk it all, her anger, her revenge that she wants. And it's not because of where we are now in Star Wars. It's because she lost so much. Her Night Sister, she lost all her sisters. She lost her mother. You know, we see that to the hands of General Grievous. We see that in the first episode.
He was brilliant too. Matthew Wood, he was brilliant as well. Run, run. It's because I thought after Clone Wars we'd never see another repeat of that again, but it's always good to see him back. See that part where he stabbed one of the sisters and kept saying, typical him, he's just going to run in and steal the show and all. The part where she was knocked unconscious, and I thought, he's just a few feet away. What if he had have turned around?
Yeah.
But I thought Dave Filoni said, no, you've done your part. Keep walking. It's kind of like, but it actually was a shocking how suddenly the rebels arrive, and then they're fleeing, and suddenly they blow up the ship, they set the forest on fire. It was kind of like a mad rush of. I think it was Morgan's way of saying, no one's taken anything from me ever again. It's like she had a lot taken from her. She saw at the start of the episode the other Moff Eiston had no interest in her project, and it's like she's trying to please all these people, and one word they're just saying, we're not interested in what you have. It's like Thrawn was like saying, take control. You have to take what you want instead of offering it. And for someone to take her magisterial role after she losing her home, that builds someone up where she had nothing to lose. In that encounter, she was either Nadura was gonna walk away and get help, or she was gonna stop her and maintain pace. Remember the part where the spear on the comm, there's no one coming, and then I felt like, that's my girl.
Well, yeah, the Tales of the Empire were really good. I hope we get more of that next year.
No doubt. Absolutely. They'll probably do one of Bale and Skull being signed up with Shin Hati. They have to do that. They have to do like a master and apprentice connection, because
and see how he survived Order 66 and everything like that. I would like to see his story, Bale and Skull's story from being or something like that.
I know. Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. I also don't know who they're gonna ask to replace him. I guess they didn't know that this could have happened to him, but it was just the way it was. When I first read it, I was like, oh no, they're probably gonna leave him sitting on that mountain edge, doing anything. It's like, so this is my story. It ends on the edge of the father, because I'm so looking forward to when the next season's going to be.
It's in development. It is in, I think, production now. I think they're starting to be in production for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
exciting. That's exciting.
Oh, I know it is. Do you still replay some of the old like the likes of video games and all? Or
I do. I played. I didn't play Rogue. Like I didn't play the game Squadrons because I didn't really like that game. I actually played it, and I didn't like it because it was too like with the ships and everything. I'm not a good flyer anyway. I'm not a good flyer.
yeah,
But I did play. The last two I played was Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. I love Cal Kestis. Cal Kestis is one of my favorite Jedis. He really is. And I love what he did with, and I like how they casted Cameron as Cal because he looks. That's. I hope we get his story too in Tales of the Jedi or something like that. You know, we get his comic, but we don't know. We don't get that's
something to look for. I know. I was skeptical at first. Kept thinking, I don't know, a Padawan this time playing the role of becoming a Jedi Knight later on, kind of thing. I was skeptical at first, but then I saw some of the gameplay and I thought, yeah, it looks good. It looks testing because I like those games that test you. Because for years I played like the likes of Rogue Squadron and Empire at War, and then in 08 and then after Battlefront, The Force Unleashed came out in 08 as well. That was one of the main ones I liked because it went back to the single player thing. Because I thought, well, it's kind of projects like that. I hope to finish them in future eventually because they did a second one afterwards and it was too short in 2010. And I thought I think they kind of rushed that one. But to tell you the truth, it made me thinking they should have just stuck with the first game and thought if he dies, he dies. That's it. Sam Witwer did his part. So and then they brought him back as a clone, and I thought, oh no, what are they going to justify this? Well, they can't do nothing now because of what's happened in the Bad Batch with Camino destroyed. All the Galen Merrick clones are floating around, so they're nowhere to be found. So, although I think there is still a few cities on Camino still afloat. It's just Tapoka City that was. Speaking of that, what did you think of Bad Batch? Was that
Bad Batch? I loved the ending of Bad Batch. I really loved. Everything about that finale. Thank God it was so long because if we only got like 30 minutes, that wouldn't have finished it. But I love the ending where Omega joins the rebellion. Like I always knew my daughter would. My daughter killed it. And I wanted her to be force sensitive. She is force sensitive, but I really wanted her to maybe do something with that. You know, maybe she does flying. Maybe she does if she joins to be a pilot for the rebellion. Because like I said, it connects to Hera too, that we see Hera she's one of the Bad Batch and she wants to be a pilot. So that's a good connection there. And maybe they do meet up, but we didn't see that in Rebels. Or maybe we get an Omega spin-off show, you know?
Maybe so. Yeah. Well, you saw how long it took Sabine to master the Force, so Omega's going to have to go through the same thing. I kind of liked it too because I thought these guys have thought nothing but war. But they've nothing but been in war for years, and I kept thinking they either give them a last stand where they fight to the death, or they let them retire to peace. It's like for once they've ran battles for the Clone Wars, and then against the Empire. And I kept thinking, how much more these soldiers need to be allowed to retire?
They need to be rested.
Because to tell you the truth, whenever after Order 66 see any clone, I thought, wait a minute, you buggers killed a lot of Jedi, and yet I realized they were a weapon used by Sidious, and I kept thinking, no, they're still murderers. They're still because back then, clones. I thought you were a bunch of murderers. You killed your generals, and now look what you have to show for it.
I love the clone. I want to know what happened with Wolf. I want to know what happened with Cody. Like, I want those stories told. Like, what happened with Cody.
To tell you the truth, I thought, whenever it said the cavalry had arrived, I thought the likes of him all was going to show up at the end on Tantus and rescue them all. And I thought, wow, so they're just letting him fly away to another part of the galaxy. It's kind of like, who knows? Maybe Wolf will get live action or something. Or maybe, I don't know. There could be another animation series where clones are back in this time. But
yeah, I love the clones. I love them.
Oh, I know. I agree to like them. It was just when you're seeing them shooting kids as well as adults, I kept thinking, what pity do these get? Sure, during the Bad Batch when they were giving off about how the clones were being treated, I feel like they deserve it. They deserved it. A bunch of them had got their chips removed and were able to tell that, but a majority of them were going around killing Jedi, and then suddenly when their purpose was served, they were replaced with stormtroopers. And I just thought maybe it's time to let them have peace because it's a big galaxy. I just thought it was a good end, and that part where they're all sitting side by side. And
when I like the ending shot where they're all sitting down by the tree and they're just sitting there like the fight is over. I love that shot. I love that ending shot. I think that's such a beautiful. It has Wrecker, Batcher, Omega, Hunter, and Crosshair, and I thought one of them. And I thought one of them was gonna die. I thought Crosshair was gonna die actually. But I liked how they chopped his hand off. The hand that he had.
I know that there. I thought he had probably broken his sniper rifle. That's what I thought. I thought he had broken it to stop him from using it. But then when I saw him left-handed and I thought, like, what's happened to his hand? And I thought, oh, so that's how when the hand stopped shaking, they cut it off to stop it. So I know that was such a cool standoff between them and Dr. Hemlock as well. I was like, are you gonna shoot? And then he shot them. It was like they had that faith that he would take the shots. I was like, come on, shoot him.
Just do it. You can shoot. You can make it from here. You can do it.
And then I thought maybe Omega said, fine, I'll save myself. And I thought she was going to like knock him out and then kick him off the ledge or something. I was like, boys, I have to do it all myself kind of thing. So I'm actually glad as well that Tech didn't like come back, because there was going to rumors that one of the clone acts was going to pull their helmet off and Tech's face would come up. And I kind of thought, I actually kind of glad he actually died because they all relied on him. He was kind of like they would always seek him out for odds and schematics and intelligence. And when that was taken off the table, the likes of Hunter, Crosshairs and all had to think for themselves. It's like, because that scene where they're all sitting at the table and there's an empty chair just to the right where Tech would normally have sat. It's
sad. And then the goggles, Omega has the goggles in. Like they always remember Tech, which I really love. That they always had a piece of him with them, always.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a memory of what they were fighting for. That they were fighting to liberate the galaxy. It's a big galaxy. That's why I went back to the Morgan Elsbeth kind of thing, where you think every planet's going to be on the side of the Empire or the Rebels. It's a big galaxy where they can sometimes make their own decisions and be careful what you wish for. I mean, you saw what happened in the likes of Ahsoka. The Sanders were all bickering about politics, and I kept thinking, really, these people got saved from a tyrannical empire, and they're still bickering. It's like
no one's ever happy.
No one's ever happy, I know.
And that's how like the New Republic kind of falls too into like the First Order, because the First Order is right under their noses, and people are like, well, there's something coming here. And they're not like caring for it. They're like, yeah, you'll get over it. Like Grand Admiral Thrawn, like they didn't know Thrawn was returned. They didn't want to believe it. He died.
It's kind of like Harry Potter and Voldemort. People didn't know that Voldemort was back, and they had to actually see him to think he's back. It's kind of like the Empire had to fire. The First Order had to fire a super weapon to wipe out the Hossein system for them to realize, oh, good, the baddies are back. I thought they were gone, and it was like, no, they're not gone. They were just regrouping. It's kind of like that recycle, because remember you saw the old Star Wars, the old Republic trailer where they did the whole for 300 years. We prepared, we grew stronger. It was kind of like it's a galaxy where there's always going to be that bad faction out there that's going to be defeated, but regroup and come back, and the Republic would just sit there and
clap their
be
hands.
lazy. Yeah, and then suddenly when war comes around, it's like panic, panic. Who's going to save us? It's just the way it is. So, hey, have you any have you seen any good fan films at all lately?
Not really. I think someone sent me the fan film. I forgot, but the fan film like with Ahsoka by Ray Kinnick. I don't know if you saw that little.
Oh yeah,
she's really good at playing Ahsoka.
Yeah,
but not really. I think the only last time I saw that one, I think they're coming out with a Mandalorian one too.
yeah.
I see on Instagram a little fan film, but nothing really. Like I'm not really. I haven't watched any fan films yet.
Well, I also wish cast members' birthdays in certain fan films too, and some of them are actually amazed that I remember them from certain shows, because sometimes they do little small contributions to Star Wars, but they're thinking because it's not like big Lucasfilm approved, it's little small projects that they think, oh, it's for local viewing, but no one major is going to watch it or anything. But you'd be surprised, because I sometimes send Christopher, on SSW there, links to certain fan films because they're so good. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they really do a great job with the fan films. Even fan made, like they did the fan made Revenge of the Sith, but Clone Wars animation, like the Clone Wars, which I love the Battle of the Heroes. But they did an animation style, and I love that. I hope we get that one day, like an animation.
Yeah. Another good one is After Endor. It's about a scout trooper on Endor who just witnesses the aftermath of the second Death Star explosion, and then suddenly he is confronted by rebels, and he runs away from them, but they try to say the Empire's done, and he was like, no, they're not done, and he decides to work with them. Eventually it's like all scout troopers are expected to fight on regardless, but he's given a choice to decide, if the Empire's gone, what cause am I serving, kind of thing. So it's another good fan film you should watch. It comes in 2 seasons. It's called For the Empire. It's about a couple of stormtroopers who I'll send you the links on Instagram there.
Send me the fan film so I can watch it.
It's they're about 20 minutes long. I'll send you the first one here now on Instagram here. There you go. I've just sent that to you. It's by 2 stormtroopers who go through the events of the movies. They have certain scenes that almost clash with some of the actual movie scenes, and it's so funny. The vocal dialogue of these 2 troopers. There's one scene where they're in the Imperial Walker on Hoth, and one of them has these special goggles that can see through the armor of the Walker, and you can see the battle outside. He says, what's that guy with the glowing stick doing down there? Hey, what are you doing? He's coming up! He's coming up! They don't know that that's Luke Skywalker running up to the Walker and all. It's some of the funniest scenes in it. If you look it up, it's called For the Empire. I've just shared it to you on the links there.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, it really is good. So I just like all things Star Wars until something canon comes along. So it's just the way it is.
Now, do you read the books? Do you read like Legends books and the books that are now?
I tend to listen to the audiobooks more.
Yeah.
I just prefer to sit there and earphones on and listen to things, and then if I spot something, I'm like, read that. What's that again? I rewind it and then like, what's that again? I just don't like turning pages. I just prefer for someone to verbally say something to me that I thought, wow, where did that come from? I didn't see that coming. The only book I've really kept recently was, it was because it was signed by the author, was Star Wars Ronin.
Okay.
You know, from the Vision shows. That was a good show. Star Wars Visions Volume 1 and 2 there. Emma Camden, I won a copy of her Ronin novel, and it was signed there. So I just prefer the audiobooks more.
Oh, okay.
Prefer them more. So
now, Samuel, we have to end the show. But my last thing to you is, if George Lucas called you up, said, Samuel Allen, the Grand Faker from Northern Ireland, you can make any show in Star Wars you want to see. It could be live action, animation, any characters. It could be even something that you want to see. What is your dream Star Wars project?
Solo, a Star Wars story 2. Make Solo 2 happen. That's what I want to see. I just thought we deserve it. We deserve to see it. With camp. I'm sure you've heard of TRB podcasts. They're Lacey Gillerin and John Hoey. They're campaigning on a Make Solo 2 happen on the 25th of May. There's going to be a hashtag probably trending about. It's just one show that I want to see. I want to see the next step of their journey after he won the Falcon back. I just thought that show needs told.
Now, would you want a movie or a show?
Episodes or a full movie? I would think the movie. We did it the first time. You might as well continue the tradition. But if it comes in episodes, as long as it shows the gang all together. Although I'm looking forward to the Lando show. Maybe that's the alternative. Maybe it is the alternative to that there. But that's what I want to see happen.
That's good. Sam, before we go, where can everybody find you on the social medias?
Yeah, you can follow me on X and Instagram, Mr. Samuel Allen, short for Mr. Samuel Allen. So if you see me posting on there, it's a new birthday or an anniversary, I'm sharing and involved in that. So that's where you can find me on those social platforms. So
in the bio for them to follow you.
I'm sorry, Samuel Arthur Robert Allen on YouTube, but I don't, as you can see, last time I shared a reaction was the Rise of Skywalker. I haven't really started reactions again because I just enjoy watching others. So just the way it is. That's me.
But Samuel, thank you so much for coming on the Scevoli Tano Tonight show and talking Star Wars with me, Samuel.
Absolutely, Christopher. A pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on there, and I look forward to what Salacious Rum and all has to say as well. I'll feature guests too. So
that is an interesting one. That episode with Salacious Rum will go down in history. We have fun with that one. Samuel, you'll come back anytime you want to talk Star Wars with me. Anytime. Guys, thank you for watching the Scevoli Tano Tonight show. Be sure to subscribe down below to the YouTube channel, the Scevoli Tano Show, for more Tonight shows. Be kind to one another, and may the Force be with you, my friends.
May the Force be with you. Yeah.
Bye!
Bye.
In my life, when you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what.